Hey everyone, this is Louis7, and today I am streaming The Lord of the Rings Online from a completely new location. So you might notice if I go to the camera, my background is completely different. So I moved, and I'll be talking about that, but I did not actually move. I'm still in the same place, just changed location. Here is cat cam. That's going to be a relatively temporary setup, I think, because we can actually see the cat bed here. I have a cat tree off to the right that I might set the cat cam to, but there's a lot going on with the setup. A lot of it is temporary. Oh no, there's an echo. Let's see. I might have to listen to this. I'm not hearing an echo when I unmute, but yeah, it's been a while since I have streamed, partially because I did decide to move my setup. And as far as what I'm going to be doing today in the game is going to be playing my, okay, y'all can't hear the echo. I'm going to be playing Dwarden, my Dwarf Warden, and continuing his adventures in, where are we going? The Misty Mountains, that's where we are going. So I've had a little bit of a sort of intermission type experience with this character where I have gone from, let's see, we were in Evendom, and then I started doing some skirmishes and Cardolin and Swanfleet missions, so before the Shadow missions. But what's going on with my setup a little bit, as I am really finding myself having to get used to it again. So I've basically shifted everything to the opposite side. So I used to have my microphone was like on the left here, my camera was on the left here, and I would have my chat on the left window there, left monitor, and now I have everything to the right, so that is very unusual to me. And one of the reasons I decided to move my setup is, one, I do think the background is a little bit more appealing, so hopefully you all find it more appealing as well. We have the map right there, the good old Middle Earth map. I do really like maps, so it's nice to actually have that up where I can see it as well. And then I don't really have much for decoration, but what I did have basically handed down from my family is just two random canvases. They kind of look like Lothlorien a little bit, so there's that. And then I think those are Thomas Kincaid paintings on the, even, let's see, for you all that would be right. For me, that would be to my left. But anyway, there's also cat water right there, just to add something extra. I don't know. But anyway, did want to say hello to Sayenium, Robert, M. Hammam, and Bella. As far as the game goes, we will actually get to that. Also, I don't know where the cats are. They kind of ran off because I've been doing a whole lot of moving stuff today. Not as much as I was last week, but have been moving a lot of things, and the cats aren't the biggest fans of that, so they're probably off hiding somewhere. But please do let me know how the audio, visuals, any of that sort of stuff is, because this is still a technically work in progress setup. Let's see, we need to go to, for some reason I was just expecting that I could travel to Misty Mountains. I'm kind of surprised I can go straight to Trollshaw's Rivendell stable, so that's actually perfect for us to get settled in Misty Mountains. I do have to remember where you pick up the quest to start Misty Mountains from the epic perspective. I mean, I think you can jump right into it, and I think it starts from Elrond, but I'm not 100% sure. Good to know, Bella, with the audio sounding fine. For me, it's going to take a minute to get used to where the microphone is positioned, so I'm a little bit paranoid that the audio is off, because I really am used to it to my left. And one of the reasons I actually didn't, even though my setup is sort of mirrored from where it was, the main reason that the camera is on the right now is because if I shifted it to the left, it's just like a door. I actually plan to have a video about the setup, but there is a door in my closet. Just, let's see, that'd be to your all's left. And it just wasn't very visually appealing. So we need to go to... in-game audio might be a little bit quiet. I usually have it at 7%, I think, because the game is somewhat loud. And then I'll keep it close to 20 decibels below my talking voice. I think a little bit less, so like 15 below my talking voice is the idea for that. Oh wow, we can just directly travel to last home my house. Let's do that then. And yes, it is a catted water fountain. The cats aren't the biggest fan of it, but they'll drink out of it. I think it's just like another regular water bowl for them. They don't go crazy for it, is what I mean. Wow, the game looks so bright and beautiful. It's been a long time since I have actually played LOTRO. So I was on spring break, basically, the past week. Is one of the reasons I haven't had much content. I know on, let's see, was it Sunday I uploaded my latest video where I finally got around to, I know I announced this probably like 2 or 3 months ago, but finally got around to doing that reaction video. And before that, I think I had the Dwarden video. So the content has been where am I even going? Content has been relatively scarce, but a few things came together to make that so. And even though I'm kind of tired right now, just had a long day of doing stuff and being active, I did want to get to doing this stream and have some content. And speaking of the content dance adventures, you asked if I'm doing Dwarden first, then moving to Borrower. As far as I know, Borrower is not up. If it were up, I'd consider it. But I think Beta 3, which was scheduled for last week, we are on Sunday, so last week was delayed, but I'm guessing it will be sometime in the middle of the week. It would be amazing if they actually had the Borrower up during the weekend, though. That is something that I would very much so like. I know I've talked about it a lot, but yeah, it looks like beta is closed right now. I've talked about it a lot, but I really do think they should run the betas over the weekend. I think that would be better for the players, and I imagine it would be better for the developers. 1 second. I need to get my little standing... It's still a bath mat, but it is more comfortable to stand on than the bare floor. Oh wow, 4 cups a day with the water. Yeah, these cats, I think I have to... Oh, there's a cat right there, but I don't know if she was visible at all. But I have to do, I don't know, maybe a cup a day on average. But I think Book 4, Chapter 1, is that the... I think that's Trollshaw's, not Misty Mountains. I did think that you could start Misty Mountains book quest. Apparently I have a turn in here, though. I thought you could start it straight from Rivendell. It's been a long while since I've done Misty Mountains. I think since I want to say my lore master on Anor did Misty Mountains last, so that has been a few years. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to go back with Dwarden, like not having been there in a while. And I think Goblin Town will be very interesting. I'm also standing way too far left. That is a good question, Dan. Why would they do anything beneficial for both the consumer and developers? And just the thing with the beta is that one in particular really doesn't make much sense to me at all. It's one of the more confusing things that they do, where there's no like immediate reason why they do the betas the way they do. It could be for Misty Mountains, you have to talk to somebody at the guest rooms, but I don't 100% remember that. It is also possible that there is no on-ramp, but I thought there was. Like, I thought you could just start it, but maybe not. I'm honestly not too worried about the book quest in Misty Mountains for this character, though, because I am mainly going to be focusing on Goblin Town, I think, and, you know, all the side quests are good enough for me. And it looks like, according to the, let's see, LOTRO Wiki, it's volume... Okay, so it is actually going to be... Wait. Volume 1, Book 5, Chapter 1. Starts at Elrond. Okay, it's level 42, so I'd be high enough level. So there probably is no on-ramp there. It's one of the other things from this game that sometimes annoys me is the lack of accessibility of like quests like that. Like, to me it would make sense if you could just start book 5 without having to do book 4, but that does not appear to be the case. Okay, so we need to go to Misty Mountains. It's been a while since I've actually traveled there on foot, so I might do that. Save me a mithril coin, because I hardly have any. There's a cat on the couch. Oh yeah, so with the move, I can talk about that while I'm moving my character to the Misty Mountains. So with the move, I used to have my, so with the, like, technically the way the apartment is laid out, I actually really like this at first, but it has a little dining room. I could probably even call it a kitchenette type area, but it has this little area out from the kitchen that I used to have my desk at, and facing behind it was both the living room, and you could see the door to this room that this setup is in now. And like any normal person in a 1-bedroom apartment living on their own would do, I decided to move my bed to the living room area and move my cat couch. That's not really my couch, but it's the cat couch to the bedroom. Makes perfect sense. But really what I noticed is that I really don't know a better way to describe this, but basically my flow was off. I think making this move will make things better, and ultimately, for you all of interest, hopefully means more content. That is one of the ideas of it. Yeah, with the Warden. I'm just thinking with the beta and the Warden revamp, it'll be really interesting to see how Dwarden plays different. Also, I think I went the wrong way. You do have to turn. I don't think this is the right way either. I thought there were only 2 paths, but I guess there were 3. Third time's the charm. So you're wondering, Bella, if the path between Rivendell and Misty Mountains is longer than it used to be. It is possible. Again, it's been a while since I've been here. It seems like way back in the day. I don't necessarily remember it being this long, but for all I know, it could have always been this long. I do see a little bit of a, say, glitch in the mini-map that might be a sign that this was changed at some point to be longer. I really don't remember it being this long of a green way up here, though. That part would be true. Also, my frills are presumably off. Nope, I actually do have frills up. I thought I might still have them turned off from running instances. But yeah, you can see a bunch of frills here. The path just doesn't have that many, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I kind of like being able to breathe without frills sometimes. But here we have the transition, and this transition looks a lot more like a modern day LOTRO transition. I think I did notice this when I was going up here. I actually remember this now. The last time I went up here was when my kin was doing one of those chicken runs. We were taking chickens through to the Vales of Anduin, through the Misty Mountains path. So that was pretty neat. But yeah, eventually we actually do make our way up here. And there will be a camp to the west that should have, I think, 1 starter quest for me. But it should get me started with the zone, basically. Oddly enough, one thing I did not notice earlier was with the lighting in the background. It's of course going to be a big topic for me to talk about, but usually I have 3, actually, well, I do have 3 lamps behind my 3 monitors, but if I do the one on the left, that one kind of drowns out the light. So I currently have that one off. I don't know if I'm going to keep it that way. But earlier when I was testing this, there's a window to the right. So I had the curtains open and it was actually light outside. Okay, got the stable master. Glowin, he should have a quest for me. Maybe not. Okay, maybe we can just do these random pop-up quests. I am slightly confused about what's going on with the quest here, but it's possible that the Anor lore master, Louis, that I did troll shaws, because I remember doing the book quest, I think, last time I was here. But here we just need hill beasts, snow beasts rather, and then relic fragments might be, yeah, I thought they were from the bog or snow lurkers. Okay, I have to remember, it's been so long since I've played, I have to remember how to play the Warden and Dwarden's special Warden stuff because he sort of lacks stats and good weapons. And then I also have to remember how it's distinct from what there was in beta because most of what I have played with Warden lately has been in the beta. Which I'm still definitely not used to that gameplay, but I just have to remember which version I'm playing. I also don't know deed-wise how much I really want to focus on deeds in this zone. Normally it's something I would like to focus on, but I really don't know with this character. Like long-term Misty Mountains, the main goal again would, I think, be Goblin Town. Which actually brings to question, do I need the book quest? Because I wouldn't mind actually doing the Trollshaw's book quests if they're very helpful in Misty Mountains to get the book quest. I wouldn't necessarily mind doing those, but I don't remember if Misty Mountains book quests interact with Goblin Town that much. I feel like they would, though. This does seem like a good dwarf zone. It's like he's going back home to the cold. Also, I don't think we need these snow lynxes. Also, I have no idea what gambits I have anymore. I think I did get Mighty Blow, though, so that should help a little bit. Oh, and I can actually mine the Dwarf Iron deposit. That's good. Okay, Book Quest doesn't do Goblin Town until Book 11. That is good to know, Goblin Snacks. Thanks for the reminder. That would be... Ooh, Book 11. I think that's after Ingmar, if I remember correctly. Well, Book 11... I thought Book 10 was Ingmar. So that would track, I think. So it's probably... Oh yeah, the lynxes don't count as a deed anyway. But I think that does sort of confirm that I'll probably stick on this current path. It is a little bit concerning being underleveled with this character, though. So with sequencing Abomination, you're wondering, sequencing on the new Warden, does it ruin everything when going power attack and then having to cast reversal? I think it's actually less rigid in that the latest implementation that they had in the beta, which I actually really liked the way it was, is any 4 gambits you use will give you an advanced technique, so there's not really much of a chain effect where you have to use certain number of gambits in certain order. Compared to the first beta, which was kind of, I think, a little bit annoying to play through compared to what they had in the second round of beta. I'm hoping that, honestly, I would be fine with no change, actually, in the third beta. It looks like none of my dots decided to hit him. Just a tad bit late responding to the person in my kin who said hello. I really am just running around killing random things. We have not even killed a single snow beast. That's actually pretty incredible because I think I have passed by some, just haven't actually gotten them. But there are plenty of them. I'm trying to remember if there's a heavy bear population. I don't remember Snow Beast. Really has been too long since I have quested here. You typed some random stuff, Bella. You said you have a cat sleeping on your desk. Oh, you're having to guard the keyboard from it. Yeah, cats, they do like to type random stuff and make your character move in a spinny fashion, at least for me. So Illumination with the new Warden, that's how it was in the beta, is that you would have to use either 2-3, you would do a 2 length game at 3 length and then follow it with a 4 or 5 length. It was any 2-3 and then 4 or 5. But using a different one didn't matter, but the latest beta implementation is just any 4 gambits will give you advanced technique. I believe there is no chain effect, or was no chain effect in the last beta, so it didn't really matter. They also did remove the, what would it be? Power Attack Mighty Blow. Yeah, Power Attack Mighty Blow Unerring Strike sequence chain effect. They did remove that completely in the beta. So with Gambits, I kind of like the idea of chain effects, but they never really seem to work out all that well. Here's some more Snow Beasts. And for most gambits or gambit chains, it wasn't even worth going through them. The healing one and defensive one sometimes were, if I remember correctly, if you did the, that would have been shield spear line, you could get a pretty decent incoming healing bonus, so that one was pretty helpful. You could also get an extra powerful heal from restoration. I don't remember that being significantly stronger. I think it was, what was it, like 25% extra healing, but the main benefit seemed to be the plus 4% incoming healing buff. Actually, I thought it was stronger, to be honest. And on top of that, Celebration of Skill gave a decent incoming healing buff, so stacking those two together would be beneficial. I honestly don't remember currently what we have the Shield Fist. So the Gambit chain effect from that, increased healing from Conviction, I think would be the biggest benefit from that. Oh, we do have new quests. So yeah, I'm really excited to play Dwarden before update 35 comes out, because I'm really interested in comparing the gameplay before and after. I'm really hoping with power management that this update 35 will make that actually better on this character. I haven't run into too many issues today, but I know if I keep chaining fights or get into longer fights, it will become an annoying issue on this character. So I am, actually hoping the power update actually makes power less of an issue. Uh-oh, YouTube ate your messages. Speaking of YouTube eating messages, a new feature that I noticed with this stream is they now actually hide moderation activity. Oh wow, my health got low. I was not paying attention to it. But I find that to be a good thing, because it used to be a lot of the spam bots, the spam message itself would actually be the name of the bot. And when they just spammed a bunch of messages and then a moderator removed them, it would still show the name of the bot, which is basically what they wanted. But it sounds like now, if you remove a message, it won't even show that. It will just like completely remove it. So I am looking forward to that. And Abomination, thank you for joining the stream. It is definitely late in EU land. But yeah, hope you have a good night and thank you for joining. Misty Mountains is a little bit of a slow start, but I do expect it to pick up. Again, we're just having the big build up and getting a little bit of XP before we go into Goblin Town is the reality for this character right now. Also, I just realized I don't think I ever shared this stream on Discord, so I should do that. Not only am I not good about sharing this stream, and even all my videos on Discord, it's actually rare that I actually like randomly remember in the middle of a stream. I don't know if that will help anybody, but for people that do join through the notification on Discord, there you go. Something I didn't notice all too much, actually, before making today's thumbnail, is snow beasts have some interesting facial expressions sometimes. They look kind of funky. But that's pretty true with anything in LOTRO if you zoom in, especially a lot of creatures. There's a lot of detail in them. A lot of times it's creepy detail. These almost look like, I would almost describe it as a space monkey. I don't know why, but that's just like, if I didn't know this was a snow beast, that might be the first thing that I think, a space monkey. Oh, if you start a message with that to a user and end with an emote, it can disappear the message and, oh, leave the emote? That's interesting. Yeah, Misty Mountains, this is pretty relaxing quest. It also makes me, I kind of like being in a cold, snowy area. Not snowing right now, but snow on the ground, because it makes me think of real winter. Although it is actually cool enough today that I don't have to run my AC, so that's good. William, the Warden, is going pretty well so far. Actually not running into too many issues with Dwarden. Today's experience has actually been a lot better than what I've had in Evandem. Also, what do I have to do? Search ruins. Oh yeah, we have to go west for this. I kind of remember this quest. But the Misty weapons shiny. That is probably from one of these. Yeah, it's definitely from one of these because you can see in the character panel the weapons are not shiny at all. So that is from the weapon aura of Elven Blessings. It looks like that is the one I'm using. I actually like this weapon aura, except I kind of dislike the little star effects that come out of it. I don't know exactly what those are about besides it looking like, honestly, it looks like a Numinos, not even necessarily Elven to me. It's supposed to be Elven Blessing, but it looks like it gives an Numinos blessing. Which would probably be, what would that be, like Arnorian, as opposed to Anorian. But anyway, that's what the effect is. In the state I live in the southeast US, unfortunately. I mainly say unfortunately because I am not the biggest fan of the weather here. The weapon aura on shield. Yeah, I have seen the aura works on shields occasionally. The auras, honestly, they often seem buggy. They typically do work well on weapons, but there's some that have worked on shields for me, but I don't quite. Let's see. I don't remember what I was saying, but yeah, I don't remember exactly what the conditions were to get it working on a shield. I don't even remember if it worked consistently when it was working. See, my problem with the Southeast is I'm not a big fan of humid weather for one, hot weather for two, and I also like winter. Now, even January would like, this is my first time living here, but even in like the heart of winter, there would be days where it would get warm enough that I'd have to run my AC. I've never had to turn on my heat though. So there's something. In fact, when it'd get down to like the 30s, I would always just open my windows to actually get it somewhat cool inside. Like my ideal indoor temperature, at least in winter, is like low 60s. So I've tried to embrace any cold weather that I could get up here, down here. And I come from Kentucky originally. Excuse me, but Kentucky originally. And then for a couple of years, the past 2 years before this year, I lived in the upper Midwest, which the winters were cold there, definitely. Maybe even a little bit excessively cold. But the fall and spring were really nice as well. Let's see, the 2 summers I was there were a bit odd. They were a little bit of extreme summers. I think was it the first one? Where it was like from wildfires in Colorado and Canada. Quite smoky outside. So it wasn't particularly great weather to be outside in, at least if you wanted to, breathe. And then maybe that was the second one, but I think both of those actually were also hotter than usual and relatively humid. Uh-oh. We got a full inventory. Who could have guessed that would happen to me? I mean, usually I just keep my inventory so clean. Do I even have any town services? Probably not. I don't even know the last time I played this character to log in and get that stuff. I don't know what to do with my inventory. I could ship some stuff off to an alt, but there's a good chance that I would never even open it. So I'd probably get returned to this character. Let's try Louis. He seems like a good bank alt. Level 140 Warden. Well, better use for them. All my processed materials, like, I don't mind keeping stuff that I will continue to gather, which is a lot of the crafting materials, because loot is somewhat chaotic sometimes in LOTRO, because you will get stuff that is way out of your level range sometimes. So it's kind of annoying sometimes to keep that stuff organized, since you don't really have infinite storage. So let's see. I also have to crowd up my inventory even more. I'll go ahead and use these virtue XP things. Why not? Well, mainly because they'd be better to save for a plus 10% or 20% virtue XP boost, but inventory space is also very valuable, so I'll just go ahead and consume those. Also, did I ever do whatever quest I had to here? I think I looted that corpse as if it was a quest item. Also, somebody else is here. Alunda. They look like with that hat there, perfectly prepared for the cold weather here. Dan, the problem with moving to where you are, because it's nice and warm and doesn't very often snow there, is that it's, I would describe it as not nice and hot, and doesn't snow very often there. All has problems. That said, for brief stints, definitely could be enjoyable. And actually, I don't think it'd be too terrible in the summer, oddly enough. Oh, yeah, that's a later quest. What quest do I have now? Oh, the bear hides. Okay, the bears should be fun. I have to actually pay attention to my character's health, though. That is the rule for the bears. I wonder if the hunter? Yeah, hunter is working on the same. Maybe, maybe not. Do I have never surrender? I do not. Okay, don't have that to rely on. I have very low health. Okay, those bleeds got me down really quick. This might have been a terrible idea. I did not expect the bleeds to get me down that quick. The problem with this, though, is they can't hit me, which means I can't do damage to them with deflection or whatever it's called. Defiant challenge. I think we're safe, though. Restoration, I think even like range celebration of skill would do very decent healing for me, considering, yeah, my total health pool is so low that even the lead kills are strong for this character. Email. Yeah, with email, Control M. I don't know if I had to set that keybind, or if that's the default. For some reason, I feel like at some point I had to set it, but that is what I used. Or maybe that was something else. Maybe there was something with Warsteed. An M that I did. I actually really do enjoy Four Seasons, so having hot weather is not necessarily bad to me. Well, it's not my ideal, and probably my least favorite of, say, seasonal weather. I don't mind it in little spurts. What's been annoying to me this winter, though, is when it's been hot in the middle of winter. That is not ideal. And by hot, I am maybe exaggerating a little bit. I really have considered anything above 70 hot, and one day it got to like 80, and that was like very hot. Just wait till summer proper, though, and then I'll start to consider 70 to be nice and cool. I don't think we need the Aurochs. We still need bears. Okay, there's a second camp of bears. I don't know if people... yeah, I don't know if people usually call them camps of bears, but I guess that's what we're calling them today. Okay, I think in the future, I do want to upgrade the cat cam to point to the cat tree, because that's like, wait for it. Where's the tail? That's like all they're going on, but here we go. But see, you can still see her in the regular camera. So if there are two cats, That's like a wasted opportunity right there, I guess. Okay, where's the second set of bears? By the time I find it, those ones might respawn. Is it north? Those are hill beasts. Actually, that's where that are snow beasts. I thought there was a second one with bears, though. I kind of just for personal curiosity want to find this now. Even if it's not really necessary for the quest, I only need 5 more of the bear hides. But I got myself curious for where they are. I think there's a second one for bears, at least. It could be just the snow beast that I'm getting mixed up with. Light oil. Uh-oh, did I miss that? I might have missed a message with light oil. If it helps at all, I don't really use light oil. I also don't really use fire oil, but that's at least for a warden. You can use them. I'd say fire oil is overall more beneficial, but they have such little impact that I don't bother with them. I guess this is good enough. Nothing bad happened last time I aggroed this many bears. Just gotta be up on removing the debuffs, I think. Hello, fun after 52. I hope there's also fun before 52, though. Okay, I think we're safe. Oh, that makes sense that it referred to age, but you said you're 58 and still not fun? That's not good. Hopefully the stream's at least fun. And LOTRO's fun. Oh, light oil can boost your spear attack with Bane of Shadows. Oh, light oil. So light oil on a warden only applies to the javelin abilities, not even the javelin gambits and assailment, so it won't help with spear. And I don't think it's even impacted by Bane of Shadows or any of the other light damage, like Foe of the Darkness or Bane of Shadows. I don't think that light oil is impacted by that either, unfortunately. Wow, that is actually crazy. If I had a javelin with the same DPS as that, I would be doing like 36 times more damage. Even more than that, but that's crazy.
How can I be of service? Mind my words, traveler.
It sounds like a cat. It also could be a kid, though. Or some other age person out there making a cat-like noise. I can't equip gear on this character, so I don't even know why I'm looking at that. Plus, it's an accept quest, so I can't even, like, pick the gear. I just see gear and I have to look at it. Okay, let's see. Defeat bears. Is it just me or did I just do that? New quest, hidden by ferns. No. Okay, that is a new quest. The other 2 quests turn in at... whose camp is that? High Crag. I thought somebody, like, name I'd recognize is there, but maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so quest-wise, I wonder if it would be a good idea to go ahead and do the turn-in at Rivendell. See, this is the thing. I don't remember if that actually leads to anything. I feel like it does, though. I think it does lead to, like, it is a part of a quest chain. So yeah, with Misty Mountains, it's kind of interesting. Just like me not remembering the most with these quests. I at least find it a little bit interesting because it's a zone that I have not actually done all that much in my time in LOTRO compared to other similar level zones. I've done Ingmar a lot more. I used to be the Fimgear had a great reputation, so I would always try to get that. I don't know if it really was the most meaningful or impactful, but that's one of the reasons I did Ingmar. I also do find it fun, especially the early parts of it. Like, before you get to the swamp, not that the swamp is bad, I've actually found the swamp quest, Malinhad I think it's called, enjoyable. Yeah, Malinhad. But not doing the book quest very frequently, I can't really get much east of that, so I'm a lot less familiar with the quest to the east. But yeah, I enjoy that intro western part of Ingmar a lot, so I've done that a lot more. Forakel I've probably done overall in my time in LOTRO a similar amount of times. I know lately I've been talking about really wanting to play through Forakel again. I honestly don't know what character I would do that on. It could be this character after I finish, what's it called? Goblin Town. I'm just happy to be in a snowy zone, though. And then I've only technically done the Wildwood once, but I'd probably typically prefer that over Misty Mountains. Not in this case, though. And then Eregion for higher level, of course. So yeah, my time in LOTRO Misty Mountains has been, I would say, less run than other ones. And I think even when I have run it, I haven't necessarily run it in the most optimized of ways. My last, like, real full playthrough, and I think my fullest playthrough would have been the Lore Master I was talking about on Anor way back. What was that, like 5 years ago now? I don't even remember, to be honest. So, mid-aged Dan, for a brand new player who doesn't like to kite, what class would I recommend? Well, a melee class might be a good idea to start off because you can kite with them, but generally you don't have to. So something like the Guardian, Champion, even a Beorning. I don't really kite much on my Beorning. Classes to avoid might be an even better way to go about it. There's the Misty Mountains intro quest. This is the one I was actually looking for. Not even necessarily the book quest, but the Misty Mountains. That is it. It's got a great name. Let's see. What was I going on about? I don't remember. The Misty Mountains quest distracted me. Oh yeah, so classes. To avoid what... So I tend to, if I kite in general, is going to be ranged classes. So would avoid something like the Runekeeper, Hunter, I think would be the two most obvious ones to avoid. Minstrel as well. I think Minstrel kiting really helps optimize the gameplay. Let's see. Whatever other range classes there are. Oh, Lore Master? I don't tend to... Well, I do kite a little bit on Lore Master. See, that's the thing with just being a range class. I just naturally tend to end up kiting on them more. Actually, I have no idea how this happened, but I had... Oh, this is a relatively thin one, but... If I can stop coughing, itchy throat. This is a little zip tie, but it's a thin one. I have no idea where I got it from, but I had it on the microphone arm with the mic wire tied up, and I just saw it was like, I don't know, snapped off at some point somehow. Okay, so what was I doing? Turning in quests. And then we'll have to defeat bears. Hey, level up. I did have to stay in the Misty Mountains. Or Rivendell, I remember that now. But hey, I'm level 39, which means I got a class trait point. I'm actually... I'm pretty close to the point that I'd be willing to try ranged Warden again. Yellow line Warden before they remove it. I don't think I'd get to that point on this character, though. I'd have to get level 45. Which is... I don't think going to happen before update 35. Mainly because I want to do Goblin Town after update 35. And I want to get to Goblin Town around update 35 would be ideal. Okay, anyway. I didn't even pay attention to the traits, but that's what we got. Hello, Sand and Snow. Not all too late. We've only been here, well, I guess it's been about an hour now. It doesn't even feel like I've been streaming that long. Okay, I'm going to go back to Rivendell before I do anything in Misty Mountains to get myself even more distracted. I will go to Rivendell. Rift Magos, thank you for continuing to be a channel member for a long time. 8 months. That's a lot of support for the content. But yeah, I really do appreciate that. And all the other channel members. I see Stand and Snow, who just joined, and Goblin Snacks, who was here earlier. Okay, so we need to go to... We can now actually do this a lot quicker. I remember when I did this on my Lore Master, the travel started to get a little bit annoying in this quest. But now I can just go Last Homely House. Now, I think the last bridge, I think they give you this one. Yeah, that's way far to the west. That's not actually in Rivendell. Oh, I didn't mean to wake her up. But I was going to say, as cute as that cat is in the cat cam. Wait for it. The problem is, you can already see her here. So if I had the cat cam facing that way on the cat tree, somehow we could have another cat. Maybe I can try that. 1 second. Never mind. That's the problem. I remember the problem is that the wire, I have it run to go that way, so it's not long enough to go that way and back this way all at the same time. Actually, when I moved the mic to the position it's in now, I actually did just run it. So it's run to the left. I still have my like audio, whatever that's called, audio interface. Is that actually what it's called? I don't know. But I have that thing. And then I have it run, so from my desktop, which is on the right below my desk, oddly enough, to the left there and then back around. I don't know. That was a very long-winded way to say that it basically does that. Okay, so I actually don't know where this person is that I have to talk to within the library. So I think, would the library be considered where Elrond is? Like the scholars area? And Riff Malgos, he said, yours is my favorite LOTRO channel. Thank you for that. There are, I would say, and at times there have been like very few people who made YouTube videos on LOTRO, especially consistently. But there are a decent number of them nowadays. So it feels like, I don't know, a bigger accomplishment or whatever, a bigger compliment maybe would be the better way to put it.
Stay a moment.
I'm always working on, like trying to improve the content, trying different things. So I know let's see, would it be my last 2 videos especially have been more experimental. So actually even my last 3, last 4. Okay, we'll go with my last 4 videos have been relatively experimental. One of them was YouTube shorts, so all those are experimental to me. I don't really watch that type of content, but people seem to watch that type of content a lot, so it makes sense to make those. And then the would I play PvMP and LOTRO again was a sort of random, honestly relatively low effort video that I tried that was basically a commentary, almost like a video response to a developer post on the forums, which might seem odd. Nobody brought this question up, but something that I was prepared to see, like if this just came up in some sort of discussion in the comments or whatever, is like, why have a video and not just make an actual text post on the forums? Well, that's because that's where like my platform, I don't like calling it that, but sure, we'll go with platform. That's where my platform is, YouTube. LOTRO is a playable picture book. Meanwhile, in Fields of Green and Orange, I don't know, are those the colors of Rivendell? You see a dwarf in a tank top, a beat up tank top at that happens to have the Sauron's white hand mark. I'm very slow today. And a dwarf wearing a spear and javelin on his back with that, and kind of similarly beat up in kind of wrapping leggings, wrapping shoes, wrapping gloves, and a bandana on an elk in an elf area, riding the elk from the lush elf area to cold Misty Mountains. Beautiful picture book. But that really is actually a good way to describe it though, Texilith. It's a just way to describe LOTRO to new players. Playable picture book. Founder spring jacket. So somebody in the kin mentioned that is the description and appearance. So it's a Bounder spring jacket, but it's more summer-like. But to me, that seems perfectly normal for spring. Okay, so what do I need to do? Defeat bears. Who could have guessed? I probably would not have guessed if I didn't remember that I actually had that quest, because I just did the same thing. Dwarf Pirate, that's actually an interesting note because of where we're going. This character actually does seem like he'd be great to adventure to Umbar as a Dwarf Pirate. I don't think I'd be able to get him all the way to level 140 without any assistance from the Valars. I don't think I'd be able to get him to 140 in time for the expansion though, but if he makes it that far, which I'm kind of hoping he does, I don't know if he'd continue to be... See, that's the thing with this character though, is when he gets to a point where I feel like I need to equip gear, will I bother even playing him anymore? Because that seems like it will be the end of his adventures. At the point that I have to equip gear, Where are the bears? There's the second snow beast, actually, camp. And I really thought there was a second camp of bears. Maybe it is this one, okay. I just thought it had a similar look to, what would that be, like a frozen pond? And this is not really frozen pond. Maybe frozen ground. Okay, make sure I get my heal up. We're going to remove debuffs. And we're just going to use some other heals. Oh, lag. It's been a tad bit laggier than usual, I would describe today. Okay, do I need these snow drifts yet? I do, how convenient. The Silmarillion, I have never read it, so I'm not too familiar with it. From what I remember, Shelob is described in it. And there's a lot of, I don't know if background information would be a good way to describe it. Yeah, they did barely have a chance. Man, just this angle when I'm looking this way still looks so weird to me. When I see the little preview of my stream in OBS, I'm not used to pointing this way. There's the bear camp. What gimmicks do I have? I don't know, probably nothing good, so I'll just use my heals. I wonder if I should consider going yellow line on this character though. One of the reasons I've been blue line is extra strong heals because this character's kind of squishy. And also because Defiant Challenge is by far the strongest ability that I have, damage-wise, which is, that very much so contrasts the usual Warden. But I wonder what would happen if I tried yellow line. I wonder how it would go. I'd really, like, if I were to actually try to seriously use yellow line, I would wait until I get Seize the Moment, but what's the fun in not investigating how it works? This finesse is actually going to be really helpful. Get crit chance. And then area targeting is good. Barb Javelin's going to be the most important. I don't think those will do a ton of damage though. Then I wouldn't be surprised if armor penetration is helpful at this level. It's not something I would normally pick. Yeah, I still don't think I can get myself to pick that. And then I don't particularly care about either of those two. But yeah, with induction duration, I won't get any benefit out of that. So we'll go funky with that. And we're missing half of our abilities. Well, I say half of our abilities. Oh, I am missing my pet, though. I can't believe I haven't had him out. Let's actually have... Has the icon for Misty Mountains always looked like this? Or is that new? I don't know the last time I actually had one to pay attention to that, but the icon looks really fancy in my skill bar down here. It also has a different border. I don't know if that's new. Oh yeah, so with level cap without gear on this character, that's, yeah, I was going on about that. See, the thing is, it depends what you mean about gear. So if I just don't equip jewelry and armor, it might, oh yeah, that pocket out, we'll ignore that. It might be possible, and the reason I have that for anybody curious is because it gives increased landscape currency, which I don't think there technically is any in Misty Mountains that I am immediately aware of, at least. But that is the reason I have that equipped for this character. Oh, hey, the cat returned. But if I did get my legendary weapons, I think it could be possible. So if I got my legendary spear shield, or spear and javelin, it might be possible. I think that would be something I'd still be willing to play this character, I think. If I only had to do my LI. Also, I did not do this right. Oh, I have fire at will. That 244 physical mastery is probably decently meaningful for this character. I should just... Yeah, there we go. That's the best way to find that. The thing is, when I play yellow line like this, I'm going to immediately expect it to be like high level yellow line and using a gambit like range resounding challenge, except I don't have that. So I don't think there's much benefit to actually playing yellow line over blue line. So this is honestly just a good confirmation that that's the case, and I'm about to die. Yeah, as soon as I switch, I die. Pretty much. What was this, my first fight after switching? Okay, we'll go back to blue line. The good news, though, is this character is not a hardcore character, which is actually what I intend my upcoming captain to be after update 35 comes out, because as excited as I am for the Warden revamp, the captain's also getting a decently significant, maybe not as big as the Warden, but they're also getting a decent sized revamp in the update. And there's no point in building ranged onslaught anymore, but there we go. And I think to make things interesting, I thought I could try a hardcore character. I don't think LOTRO is the best game to do hardcore things, but it might be a really enjoyable experience, and there's pretty much only one way to find out to actually try it, or maybe watch somebody else try it. I'm not immediately familiar with anybody that has done a hardcore run, at least where I have heard about it. Like, I know even for a similar genre game, I know in Classic WoW that was something people would do. For other genre games, like another Standing Stone Games one, DDO I know has a hardcore thing. Action RPGs, that seems to be popular. I don't really like action RPGs though. I know Minecraft as well. Oh, I'm in range stance. Aye. See, once I have one death, that just opens the floodgates for me to die over and over again. It would take a whole lot of time, but it might actually be possible, like technically possible, for me to get this character to 140 by time the expansion this fall comes out. Okay, we're going to survive this time. I wish I could confidently say I guarantee it, but I 99% guarantee it. Also, if y'all notice anything weird about the visuals of the game, I mean, I just noticed I don't have damage numbers showing up, and I honestly kind of like that. So I am going to start a poll, and I'm going to ask you all a question. Do you like floating damage numbers? Because I like to see how much damage my stuff does. So normally I like having floating damage numbers, but there's something peaceful about having them off. It makes me, I don't know, kind of relax a little bit more, if that makes any sense. So I'm kind of enjoying the experience without them right now. Also, all my stuff does low damage. That's all that really matters on Dwarden. There's a snowdrift. Also, I don't need these. I don't need these quests tracked. Why do I have them tracked? And then build tripper. Don't need that tracked either. I'm going to abandon that quest along with all the other Evendon ones at some point, I think. I've only been streaming a little bit over an hour, and I'm basically already ready to sit. But I have been standing a lot today already. Dread from defeat. Oh yeah, you would get dread from defeat. That made dying a little bit more impactful. And you had to go, like, I think you could go to a healer to get rid of it, if I remember correctly. I honestly don't know, do healers have any use nowadays? Do they sell stuff, like sell the curing potions, the debuff removers? I don't even remember. I usually only bother with those at high levels where you have to have them crafted anyway. But yeah, I'm going to sit. Now y'all get to see the setup and sit mode. Basically not much difference. Maybe a better view of the couch. And because I'm weird, I have to sit cross-legged. Okay, they do sell things to remove the effects. That is good to know. I just, again, don't really ever end up bothering with that. Did I actually do all the quests here? I guess I did. I don't remember searching that many snowdrifts, but I did get all 4. Travel rations. I still have some of those on my original Warden on Arkenstone. And maybe even other characters on there, but yeah. No use for them, but I have them. I don't think I'm quite to the point where I've spent more of my life as a LOTRO player than not. It's gonna be close, and if I keep up the next few years, I will be up to that point.
What can I do for you?
Here is where I get to look at the shiny gear that I can equip. Like, this would just give me straight up increased morale and power. I think actually the biggest benefit of a cloak like this would probably be the 1000 armor. That would... So much armor, it's taken me a moment to think about it, but that would like quadruple the armor I have on this character. That's crazy. I didn't know cloaks had that much armor. Wow. That's like over twice as much as those shoulder pads, and even more than the heavy armor helmet. That's crazy. I could actually consider these shoulder pads for power regen. I'm just going to pick them to see how much of a difference that would be. So my current power situation is that I get 503 per minute. And with that much fate, I would now get 552. So it wouldn't be the biggest difference. It would be about 10% more, which I don't think is enough for me to like say, I want to equip that just for power. Especially when it gives me like over double armor. That feels extra cheating when it actually has that much of an impact. I don't even think, let's see, 11.7% physical mitigation. That boosts my mitigation by 6%. That is crazy. Wow. I did not realize shoulder pads could be that beefy. Now I'm wondering how much mitigation I'd get from the cloak. Okay, so I think quest-wise, if I am all on track, we can head east. Frostile Pond. Yep, seems solid to me. I wonder if these ponds ever thaw out. I think it'd be a different game, but interesting to play a game where something like that actually happens. There's not just dynamic weather, but dynamic weather related effects. I guess this actually does happen in Minecraft, but I was thinking, like, if there's a thunderstorm and your character got struck by lightning and took a ton of damage, I don't know that that'd be the most fun gameplay. Like, basically, would there be a thing you could do to counter it and actually still play the game? Especially in a game like LOTRO.
Stay and speak with me a moment. I am at your service. Greetings.
We have a new cat.
Will you stay a moment?
Oh, wow. Was my health just low, or what happened to my character? I'm just like sitting here at the quest camp thinking about this this thing right here. And I die. Half of Oracle goes underwater from March to September. Just be a swimming zone. That'd be fun. That might be fun for 1 year's worth of gameplay. I'd probably end up just missing the snowy Oracle. But if they did have seasons like that, I think it'd make sense if some more southern zones did end up getting some snow at some point. Like snow-covered Breland could be neat. I wonder, it's really hard to tell with something like Middle Earth, but like if Evendom is north enough where, trying to think like Earth weather systems, but if it'd get cold enough there where the lake could freeze over. But then it could be like, you try to walk across Lake Evendom because the lake's frozen over, but then it's not actually thick ice where you try to walk and you just fall through, then your character gets stuck. That would really be terrible gameplay. Like, for me, that type of gameplay, if a character could actually fall through ice and get stuck and then, you know, like your only choice is to die, would be not very entertaining. It might be fun to experience once. I mean, Oracle, you can already swim across the bay, you just don't really have to that much. Yeah, well, actually you take damage, but I don't think you take enough where it matters that much. I don't know, I haven't actually tried swimming that long of a distance, if you can't tell. I do see Piper has found her way to rubbing against the microphone again. It might have taken her almost an hour and a half, but seems like any setup works for her. Arctic hunters defeat wargs. Wargs in Misty Mountains? Warning evil men. I don't know why, but I've always found this quest so funny. That you just place a sign that says evil men. That'll take care of the problem. When we go down to Isengard, just place a sign. Evil Urk. Urkai. I didn't quite finish that. Okay, so Bella, you do remember going to water and Port Cullen freezing to death? Yeah, I think it's, for some reason I was thinking in modern day LOTRO that didn't really happen, but maybe it's with a high level character that I was thinking. Because I have swam from some of the... Are they actually icebergs? It's been long enough I don't remember. I think they're supposed to be like icebergs though, so we'll just think of them as icebergs. I remember swimming to a somewhat distant one at one point. Yeah, if it's not percent based, I definitely think a high level character can. It's very yellow here, probably because it's sunset time. This is more of Dwarden's natural habitat. Riding a boar in a tank top in the Misty Mountains cold. Oh, wait. We can't go up there. There are evil men. In case y'all cannot read it, it says, "Warning evil men." I don't know if that's supposed to actually be a language, to be honest. It looks like an FETO TSXRIR. Is this the only location? Oh, wow. Can't move the microphone far away. Is this the only location where the Korkar are? Oh, wait for it. She's back. Uh-oh. I moved both cats on accident. I didn't know I had that power, to be honest. Normally they just ignore me. Okay, where am I going? This way. Alright. I actually like the contrast between the pink, the yellowish white of the snow, and then there still is a decent bit of... It looks blue at least with the whiter snow and the shadows. Neat coloring effects going on here. There are Korkar in other places. Okay, I just honestly forget where they are. I feel like I remember seeing them. I'm just not immediately remembering where. They're kind of like the guys in North Downs, though. That's what they remind me of. I don't know if they're called Korkar there, but, you know, some form of evil men. Maybe even Trollshaws. Trollshaws would make sense. Yeah, Moria. I'll hope Dorje is somewhat close enough with the name, but you said you went through Moria with your girlfriend and have no idea why people hate Moria so much. Yeah, Moria is... At first, I actually did hate Moria, but it has sort of grown on me, and I actually really enjoy questing in there nowadays. Ooh, Misty Mountains with the new type of maps they have. I'm honestly not sure if I'd like it. It'd be interesting to see what it's like, but I'd probably tend to prefer this older style one with Misty Mountains as well. Also, I should actually do the quest that I have. All I did was place the sign, and I was like, job done. There's a cat. Cleaning her paw. Maybe. There she goes. And I looked away for like 2 seconds and here she is jumping back up here. I won't complain though, but I just find that kind of funny. She like, I guess didn't like that spot. And Lexi, the cat that's up here now, unlike Piper, she is actually behaves. That is true with the current map. It does not tell you that much about the terrain, especially with something like Misty Mountains. I think the altitude goes up quite a bit as you go up north, but it doesn't really do much to show that. I think there's also a little bit of a dip down here, and Giant Halls is relatively low if I remember correctly. But there's a lot of verticality to it that is really not shown in the map. I think something the map also makes it look like is you're not really in mountains. It makes it look like this is just a flat area contained by mountains, kind of like what I'd describe as a typical MMO zone would do, especially older style ones where zone, for better or worse, would just be surrounded by mountains, and that was the solution to contain zones. The map makes it look like Misty Mountains is like that, but it's actually, I think, supposed to be you're in the mountains. Not quite traveling the peaks, but it's all mountainous terrain. Okay, well, what? I am getting so distracted as I attempt to quest here. Oh yeah, Lothorian. The book quests in the late Moria, early Lothorian, or even Lothorian period as far as I'm concerned are... Do I have to... Yes, I do have to defeat wargs, okay. Not very fun to me. I'll put it that way. I don't know why I went for damage when Desolation does not do much damage when I need to use Restoration. But I think even with just this much healing, I am safe to sit here and let Defiant Challenge do its work. Kind of hard to see it's doing its work without damage numbers. And then Ingots of Dwarf Gold, I'm guessing I need to defeat goblins for that, okay. So our quest makes sense. I am now actually doing them. Oh, your name is pronounced more like George, eh? George, eh? Is it like George, eh? Yeah, when it gets to any sort of accent marks on the letter, I'm already not great at pronouncing names, and when it gets to those, it is even worse for me. Oh yeah, I still have the floating damage number pull up. Wow, most people like floating damage numbers, 92 to 8%. That is pretty crazy. I thought most people would prefer them. I know that's the default option as far as I know in basically every game. But again, I'm having I think with 20 votes that's enough, or 24, whatever it was. But I think with currently, right now, I'm enjoying without them. Ah, Serbian. And yeah, that's another thing, actually. I wasn't even entirely sure not what language, but like, I don't know where that name was from. Oh, they changed it so you only need to get acquaintance for the big city. Let's see, that's reputation. Oh, reputation with Lothlorien. I think for the big city, yes. For Karis Galadden, you need... I don't think you need as much reputation as you used to, I'll put it that way. Oh. What am I doing? Oh, we need more goblins, wow. I'm seeing tons of wargs. This is a little preview of, like, first hint that there's a goblin population here. Oh yeah, Rohan. So a lot of people do like Rohan, especially West Rohan. I know a lot of people enjoy West Rohan. I just very much so do not. But just because I do not enjoy Rohan doesn't mean you will not enjoy it, or shouldn't even look forward to it. Chevron, you say I'm going insane. You'll love me for it, but I think I might already be there. Oh, and I have more for the loot. I'm definitely insane for not getting my own services before I traveled to Misty Mountains. That was a big mistake. Yeah, that's one of the big things that actually sort of bothers me about Rohan, especially West Rohan. I don't remember it as much in East Rohan, but it might have been. Honestly, I don't know if I've even done all of the questing in East Rohan. I don't think I've done all the questing, but I don't think I've done, like, most of the questing in East Rohan. Maybe that's a decent way to put it. I have done little bits scattered about in the different zones, but yeah, I haven't done like a good solid full playthrough of East Rohan because it would always bore me. And West Rohan I have done a full playthrough, mainly because this is one of the things that annoyed me about it, but the necessity for class trait points, which is no longer a thing. I really like that. Not just because West Rohan, but I really like that it's no longer required, and that actually makes me think of West Rohan a little bit more positively, oddly enough, because it's not as required as it used to be. But one thing that I did dislike about West Rohan was that you basically had to go through every quest in the very specific order that it has them set up. And if you miss something, that can kind of mess you up for the entire zone. And I think even with the book quests, if I remember the way they were integrated is you could get yourself blocked either on the zone quest or the book quest by not doing certain parts of, well, the zone or books. And there are a select few side quests that you can skip, but compared to, I don't know, more regular LOTRO places, other areas, it's significantly fewer side quests that you can skip. And normally I like the side quests, but not particularly in West Rohan. East Rohan side quests weren't as bad as West Rohan side quests to me. There's also so much, I don't know if drama even the right word to describe it. I didn't even pay attention enough to know too much if it was drama, but from what I've heard other people describe the drama going on between the, what were they called, like Thanes? The leaders of each camp had their own, what were they called, mead halls? But it was like, it almost felt like every camp and every zone was a copy and paste of, like, each other. there were some slightly different areas. Like, I feel like Eastfold had a lot of potential for me to actually like it. It was maybe one of my favorites out of all the West Rohan zones, but I still didn't like it. But it felt like there was so much potential there that it just, like, what there was a letdown. But yeah, I do remember that one being a little bit different. Also, I wouldn't mind trying to snag this potion, so we're going to do another load to Louisden. Any other finished materials I can send off? I think copper ingots, I shouldn't need 10 ingots anymore. And then as far as materials that I should be done with, I should not have to gather, well, I don't have to, but should not be gathering any more gold, silver, rich iron. So there we go. This character feels significantly less rich without that rich iron though. I did not realize I had so much, but I gather things and, you know, just like collect and hoard them. Not much other use for me in gathering the things. Also, if you all do not mind, this goblin... Oh, can I get him yawning? Okay. That might be in an upcoming thumbnail, that screenshot. We'll see. Seems like it'd be good for a Goblin Town screenshot to have a goblin. Or Goblin Town... Yeah. Goblin Town stream to have a goblin screenshot in the thumbnail. I think I got all the quests done that I was working on there. We do have to go back to Rivendell for one of the turn-ins. I might go ahead and do that as well. I think it would make sense if I did. Wow, I find it so weird that I'm already used to looking to the right, probably because I've had my head turned that way. I honestly wonder during a stream if I spend most of my time facing the game or facing the chat. Sometimes I actually do not know. But I found myself actually gotten used to looking to the right. And now I look weird when I look to the left, or feel weird. Oh, yeah. The problem with that, though, if I look this way, if I kept chat as it used to be to the left there, one, my face, I think, is turned off to the side a little bit excessively, I'll say, and I'm facing away from the microphone. That's the more important part. One thing that I'd be interested in exploring as far as, I don't know, setup, upgrade, I would hope it would be an upgrade, but that's the thing with it being exploring. I honestly don't know how well it would work, is a shotgun mic. I think that's what they're called. So I could face this way and basically be just as loud as if I was facing this way. Whereas right now I have the microphone set up to where I'm hopefully relatively similar volume when I'm facing to the right, so like facing towards the camera or towards the chat window, or like actually facing the game. But anyway, yeah. Goblin race win? That is a good question, Sand and Snow. I actually really disliked the way they added goblins in WoW, because as somebody who played Alliance, I didn't see any reason why Alliance couldn't be goblins. And I really like them as a neutral race. They just made most sense to me as a neutral race, so that was disappointing. But as far as LOTRO goes, actually they could do it with monster play. I forget about monster play. But with most of the game, and I think even the vast majority of players being non-PvMP players, I always think of, like, you know, adding something to the game basically being a free people's thing. Goblin could be interesting to play. Might not make the most sense. So Chevron, you actually mostly play monster player. It is good to hear that people play PvMP, because I know I don't all that much. For example, actually, the PvMP video that I made the would I play PvMP again from the forum post from the developer, I was actually, I don't know, was I surprised? The point was that most people in the comments as well mentioned that they don't actually play PvMP. Also, I realized that I did not actually, well, I'll finish this. I'm already down here. Although that is, okay. We'll go up here. I'm kind of on autopilot. I forgot that I was supposed to go to Rivendell and turn in the missing fragments. I don't know that it's important, though. I could go to the LOTRO wiki and spoil it for myself, but that's no fun. I could spend a mithril coin, though. No, I'm not going to do that. I was going to, but I have to spare my 541 mithril coins. I'd be curious, though, if they made good enough, I shouldn't say good enough, but if they made big enough changes to PvMP, I'd be maybe curious to actually, like, go there and see how it is on Langefall, because I have no idea. What it's like on Langefall there. I do know some people on the server, though, that do PvMP, so I would guess that if there are people that do PvMP on Langefall, I would guess that there is some activity. Oh, and the server I'm on is Langefall. I could also technically check it out on Arkenstone, but I no longer have a level cap character on Arkenstone. I think 120 it would be the highest I have on Arkenstone after we move to Langefall from Manor. Okay, we're going to Rivendell Stables. And Matty Ice, yes, this is the no gear Dwarden. Yeah, Arkenstone is the server that I am aware of that has a lot bigger PvMP population. I'm actually curious, Evernight. I don't know if, because that's an EU server, that one might as well, and it's one of the more populated servers in the game. Estelin. That actually sounds like a name that I would name one of my characters, especially back in the day. I think soon enough that horse is going to turn into water. The problem with, I don't know a dwarf so much, maybe it is partially a dwarf problem, but getting a screenshot on an elk, I think even off a dwarf, it could be tough, or on a, like, elf, is the elk just blocks so much of the character's face, it can be tough to get a good riding screenshot compared to a boar's pretty decent, but I've noticed if I, like, try to get a close-up screenshot, the boar is completely out of frame here. Horses seem to have the best luck. I'm kind of curious now what a horse looks like on a dwarf. Yeah, let's go with this one. Or a pony, I guess it would be. So you can get both the horse's face and the character's face in frame. I think it's even better on like an elf, maybe all taller characters. I don't know about Hobbit. It's actually a somewhat big jump. I forgot in update 35, the beta, this place got a revamp, Last Homely House. So it'll be interesting to see that. I was kind of thinking when I walked in here, it seemed, I would almost describe it as naked compared to how it was in update 35 beta. They added so much to it. And added so much, I don't mean like expanded new rooms or made it like bigger or anything, but just more decoration type stuff. More I was to use a somewhat more negative term, more clutter. Every time I'm in here, I'm used to going to Elrond. Okay, we do get another quest. I'm thinking this one seems like it would be the last one because it's like a purple quest reward. Ooh, 55 fate. I might keep that pocket item. It doesn't give me any armor, and it would be something that could potentially help this character's power issues again if we ignore that I have the the flowing silver, whatever it's called, pocket item for barter currencies. If we ignore that pocket item from that quest could be actually useful. Also, now might be the time for me to consider using my return to Misty Mountains. Mainly because I don't know how much more I'll get to today. It is getting a bit late, and I do have, on top of doing all the sort of moving of my setup, that was mainly no, 2 Wednesdays ago. So like 10-ish days ago or so, however many days ago that was that Wednesday. That Wednesday through Saturday, basically all of my free time was spent working on this grand move. It was almost like moving out and moving back into my apartment again, because I basically went through, outside of the setup, basically all my stuff, organizing it and all that sort of stuff. And besides the week that I was gone, I continued that starting with, let's see, not too much yesterday, but today mainly. And I forgot the point, but yes, there's still stuff I need to do to actually get my bed in a sleepable state. Which, speaking of, I'm actually I probably have to turn my dryer on real quick, so I will be right back. All right, I am back. But yeah, the good news about changing my setup and moving over here is I wasn't right next to my dryer and washer for that matter, but I am farther away where I don't think the sound is picked up at least nearly as much on the microphone. Unfortunately, the apartment I'm in, the washer and dryer that they had, I'm not sure they're much better than nothing, but they're very old, and the washer does not do a good job washing clothes, and the dryer dries. I would air dry my stuff, but I don't really have much of anywhere to do that, at least in a very efficient manner or timely manner. And I'd be concerned about it increasing the humidity inside, and there's no real spot to do it outside here. But yeah, the dryer is scary here. But it's loud, and the whole point was that it's an old dryer, but one of the, like, I don't know if it's like a sticker or whatever on it, but it says quiet by design. I just find it ironic that it's loud. I was just thinking, I'm very concerned that I'm not heading in the right area, and I don't see the quest for a scholar's lesson. There it is, right in the middle of Rivendell. Oh well. That bear took a tad bit longer to defeat than I expected. I've also run into a surprising amount of people. Like, they're level 122, but I think I've run into 2 other people that were relatively on level, if I remember correctly. There was the Hobbit that I've run into multiple times, which I don't know that it's the greatest sign that I'm like super excited to have run into people on level in an area like this, but it kind of is the way it is. With LOTRO having 140 levels, sometimes it is a little bit amazing to run into somebody else questing. Okay, but I think for this quest, we are looking to collect the second strongbox, which should be down here. We don't really have to bother with the Dower Hands. They do have a Slayer quest. If I do eventually want to do the... I don't know why I'm sitting so far left. I have to get used to my new position, I guess, but... if I want to do the deeds here, that is good to know. I think this is pretty much the spot for Dower Hands, if I remember correctly. Because I think I did these and did it in this area for the Dower Hands for my... I think of my Warden, actually, on Anor, or now Warden on Langefall. I actually did the Misty Mountains Slayer deeds.
What do you need?
Like the Dwarf Gold Ingot. Wow, that would be a beautiful axe. Ooh, non-combat power regen. That could... 840 in combat power regen. That would solve my power issues, I think. But it's a heavy shield. If that were a Warden shield with those stats, I would very strongly consider going ahead and equipping that. But I think with update 35 coming so soon, I probably don't have to worry about power all too much. I think I've only had a couple times where it's really come up as a concern today, which is an improvement from how it was in Evendim. I don't know if it's because the combat overall has been less intense, or if I've just been slower pace with it as well. Oh, hey, somebody... Yeah, on level. Brawler as well. I really don't run into many brawlers, just like thinking of what I have run into randomly on the landscape in LOTRO. Brawler's probably the least common. It is the newest class, and I think it's also a class that it has a very specific class fantasy to go along with it that I would imagine not everybody is interested in. For example, I'm not the most interested in the brawler, but yeah, I don't run into that many. In fact, if we just go to who, we got 7. We actually have more brawlers than Beornings on that. That's funny. Wow, Hunter is 100. That is crazy. They are like significantly dominant over Beorning, Brawler, and Burglar combined, or not even close to the Hunter. Champion's a little bit less than half the hunter. Hunter could be well over 100 too. Like, if we actually want to split it up, there's 19. This is really not worth the effort, but yeah, there's probably about 110-ish, maybe a little bit less for hunter. Let's go back to level 1. There we go. And then champion is less than half of that. Guardian's actually so far 3rd highest. Lore Master, honestly, Lore Master is higher than expected. I would not have expected Lore Master to be high. And because we're on Landerval, I expect Minstrel to be a bit higher. Mainly because I would guess that there's some sort of roleplay going on, basically of just about any time. And I would also guess that Minstrel is the most common. In fact, with 60 of the Minstrels, we see that a significant amount of them are in Bree. Now, some of them are various levels, so they may not be doing roleplay or instrument playing music, but a lot of them are in Breland homesteads as well, in a group, probably doing some sort of music stuff. Oh, been here so long. Let's get respawn. It's okay. Also, do I actually need to loot that chest? I think I do. I better do that before the game or quest breaks. I wonder if I've got done Spear of Virtue yet. Nope. But let's see. Yeah, so Minstrel might be a little bit deceptively high on the server. Captain is similar to Guardian, right? Runekeeper, pretty similar. So that's kind of the middle range. Champion's a little bit higher, which I would have expected. And then I'm curious, Warden? Yeah, Warden's relatively low. As much fun as the Warden is, not a significant amount of people actually play it. At least as much fun, I should say as much fun as I have with the Warden. It is a little bit better than... Warden's the lowest. I'm actually surprised with that. From what I remember when I have looked on Arkenstone, usually Burglar... Well, Burglar would be the lowest, and then Brawler came out, and then Brawler was lowest. But at least this time, on whatever day this is, Sunday evening, 8:35 Eastern Time, server time, Bear Warning is lower than Brawler and Burglar, which are actually the same right now. And Warden is a tad bit higher, and then Runekeeper, Captain, and Guardian are pretty similar. And Minstrel is high. I'm thinking a bit deceptively high. And then Champion, and then Hunter. Also, I somehow died. Alright. That happened. Yeah, I'm guessing with just the way the Warden plays with the Gambit system and everything, while I do find that fun, I'm guessing that is why it is lower population with being a challenging class. It's also something that you have to... I think after playing for a long while, it isn't necessarily the case for me, but you tend to have to... What's the right word? Pay more attention, maybe, to what you are doing. Maybe think more as well. When I start a new game, I don't necessarily go like immediately to the most complex class, but I tend to prefer a little bit more complex classes than just like super basic ones as well. Sand and Snow. Yeah, invest more thought into the gameplay. That is definitely true. I even turned. I did not turn at the right spot.
Greetings.
Alright, Loris Sharpshard, I think, is the guy back up north. Nope, never mind. Is he inside? Do I click this? And now I bring it to him up north? I know this will be a little bit sudden, but I think after I turn in this quest, that will be a good point to get wrapped up with this stream. And okay, I gave him something that he added to the chest. That makes sense, I think. And hopefully this time I do not die on the way out. So I do have those 2 bleeds going on. Will they be enough to just outright kill me here? Or did I just start taking more damage last time and get more hits? So, Tiago, you've been out of LOTRO for a couple of years and you play during Rohan expansion. Level cap is level 100, 105. Yes, all the content from the release of the game to Helm's Deep, so that's basically up to level 95 content, is now free. And if you're a VIP, you get everything but the latest expansion and, for what it matters, mini expansion. You don't get either of those two. For some reason, my mind, when I went down that little hill, was like the first thing I was thinking, fall damage and I would die. Oh, I could have just death boarded here the whole time. The red circle is actually on a frozen pond. It's kind of neat. Yeah, I really did get close to dying there, though. Sharp shard axe. The shield. If that were a Warden shield, I could potentially love it.
Come and stay a moment, friend.
And this guy has a quest for me as well. Are they both going to be to the northeast? Real treasure. I have no idea where that is. Thorin's Hall. Wow. That is a long way to go. But I think I'm actually going to go to Rivendell. We're not quite going to finish this stream. Not yet. I'm going to go to... Do I have a muster in Rivendell yet? No, I should not have that at this level, I don't think. I wouldn't mind having that at this level, but I'm guessing that's like level 40 or something if I had to guess. But yeah, we'll get taking care of the Scholar's Lesson. At least that part of it. I don't know if it continues beyond what there is in Rivendell. For yeah, all the extra stuff that you would get with the Rohan expansion purchase, you do not get that for free now. It's just the content. Mayork. That seems like a great hobbit name. Also, why does Hearn and Mossword? Oh, assistant stable master. Okay, that's kind of neat. I don't even think I need to go on the stable though. Mayork. I feel like I've heard that name before. I don't know if it's from seeing that player or if somebody in the LOTRO community uses a similar name online, like outside of the game. Oh, level 44 for the Rivendell port. That's not too bad. 40 would be nice, but 44 also makes sense. Wait, Deluros. Okay, that is the guy in Rivendell. So, Sandin Snow, you had a challenge idea for Lore Master who can only use abilities without inductions. I think that could be an interesting challenge, but I honestly would probably get bored of it relatively quickly. Maybe for a like short period, see if you could be a, I don't know, I always run these, so something like school and library only using those. Because you'd have Wizard's Fire. I think you also get Wizard's Frost. Maybe you only get Wizard's Fire in the red line. Actually, I forget. I haven't played Lore Master much since that update. So you would have that. You could maybe, depends if this is in the rules, but you could maybe spec Blue Line and get the trait that makes your next induction ability have no induction. So it would not have an induction. And that would be your chance to use the induction abilities. And then, yeah, your Staff Strike, Staff Sweep, and then your debuffs, I think I think all of those now have no induction. Also, not Elrond. I'm not aware of a new engine coming to LOTRO. That would be probably nice, but yeah, I'm not aware of that happening for the game. Ah, beautiful armor. Even this club, Hammerthron, that actually is 840 in combat power engine. So that would over double my current in combat power engine. But perhaps more importantly, the problem with equipping a weapon like that, even though it would be a nice boost for ICPR, is how much more damage Desolation does. Actually, the upfront damage isn't that much more, but the light damage over time, so the most significant component of it, at least if you're a normal Warden, it does, what's that, about 6 times more damage than before, and brings it up to like more normal what you would expect the damage over time component to be the more significant amount of damage, whereas without gear and level 1 weapons, the most significant amount of damage is actually from the upfront, which is really weird. It'll be really interesting to see how the Warden revamp affects this character differently than a regular Warden, because I would guess that the new gambits and changed gambits that do upfront damage will be relatively better for this character, and I'll probably end up wanting to use those more frequently, but I don't know for sure. It could still be that the damage over time component of the dots will be strong enough that it's like still, worth giving those a cast. I also wonder the burst damage, like how all that stuff scales with weapon damage, because clearly some things scale with weapon damage, but scale with weapon damage differently. Like the damage over time component is a lot more strongly impacted by weapon than not. In fact, if you unequip a weapon, I think you can see, gives you some raw numbers. Well, actually with the light damage, it does not, but with the upfront one, it says 570.5% of main hand plus 314. So you're already getting 314, which I think is where a significant portion of my damage comes from. Although I'm surprised 570% of 1 to 2 gives it that much. Anyway, yeah, Piper does want me to give her pets. Problem is, when I end this stream, there will be no time for petting. Well, maybe a little bit. I just have to do things like take a shower, put the sheets on my bed, and go to sleep. But yeah, on the note of beta, very much so update 35, I'm very much so looking forward to that on this character. I would like to get one more stream in before update 35 on Dwarden. and perhaps could just mix this character in with other stuff. I am honestly not 100% sure. I don't know what like my kin has planned this coming week or anything like that. I really don't know what I have planned this upcoming week, but maybe check out the next round of beta for update 35. I'm not 100% sure, and of course when the full update 35 comes out, we will check that out. And yes, we do have 2 cats. We have the new setup behind me and around me, and we have a cat. Hold up. There we go. We have cats. The cats do approve of the new setup. Seems so cozy in here now. But yeah, good time for me to, before this cat like exits the stream by herself. Good time for me to, what did she do? She's trying to drag around a bunch of windows and the such. I don't know, but anyway, good time to get wrapped up with stuff. Oh yeah, so upcoming content. Yeah, I think I pretty much covered it. Now, as far as today goes, Misty Mountains, hopefully it was obvious. I had a lot of fun on this character and the such. I'm going to go ahead and log out so that stuff can get my town services. But anyway, I am just totally rambling. I don't even know what about. So as far as the stream goes, I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content. Thanks for joining, chatting, and watching, everyone.